5 or? Okay. I can't believe he's calling me right now. Well, we'll give it a minute. Hey, bud. For parking lot rent? Oh, no, we don't have a set price because the lights are so, cost-wise are different. Size difference. Depends on, what parking lot you're in, But yeah, we can look at it. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. So we did say they were running behind. Well, I know. Well, because okay. Alright, well, we just won't do it. We'll tell them, hey, we'll do it. We'll get it saved for you and do it, but it's going to be extra. Yeah. Okay, let me run because I got to get something going. Bye-bye.
So since the first action item is for
Bump it. If he doesn't show up in time.
I'll just stick down to the next one and this year.
Okay. And this is the Citizen Academy? Okay. CAC? Okay. Okay. All right, let's get rolling.
Tania. I said Tanisha. I apologize.
I hope I was right. I said maybe I got it wrong.
Okay. I said Tanisha for some reason.
We just call you T.
Because I said it didn't sound
Oh, there you
right.
go. You made it. Okay.
But I was with FDOT going over some things out here.
Thank you.
We'll talk some more.
Morning. How are you?
I know it doesn't seem right without your side grip. You guys are you're so cute. I can say. Okay,
I think I'm in the right seat.
what's the right word? You guys are funny.
No, you had the right word.
Somebody called him my homeboy. I said, why is he gonna be my homeboy?
We did. Doing all right, Tyrone? But
Yeah, I try to get away from it on occasion, so this is my quiet time.
Tyrone, I'm gonna use my Tyrone pen.
have we got a quorum?
Tyrone, how'd she get a pen?
Oh.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. How you doing, sir?
That's not fair, is it?
That isn't. I've been asking for it.
How you guys? You doing all right? I'm good.
You're special.
You gotta take a picture.
You're special.
You
You
guys
have no
ready?
idea how special that means.
How you doing, sir?
There you go.
You're doing all right.
Good, man.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
It's a little tricky. I saw it too, but it's okay.
We still have.
Yeah, he could be a dual personality. I can pull that off.
I'm going to
This is
animal services after this, so I wanted to make sure I was
It's very expensive.
ready. I told Paula I can work. I'm not allowed to take a dog home. And I said, even if I say it's cute, whatever, do not let me take it home.
We're talking now.
Oh, those are?
No mean,
So,
she has, we can't, but,
I'll have to show you.
she would if she could. And I think, I've got to run over at 11:30.
These guys out of control.
We have another. 11:45, I gotta go, 'cause I got it. So you're having to head out too.
I'm heading out.
We'll get together. All right.
Good morning. The Metropolitan Planning Organization Board meeting of August 8th, 2024 is called to order. I remind everyone to please silence all electronic devices. Please be aware that this meeting is being broadcast. After its conclusion, a video of the meeting will be available on the county's website. At this time, I would like to ask you all to please rise for invocation and pledge of allegiance.
O merciful Creator, your hand is opened wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Scott Black.
Here.
Councilman Lance Smith.
Here.
Mayor John Erkenberg.
Here.
Commissioner Ronald E. Oakley.
Here.
Commissioner Seth Waitman. Commissioner Catherine Starkey. Commissioner Lisa Yeager.
Here?
Commissioner Jack Mariano.
Here.
Chairman Matt Murphy.
Here. Thank you. Okay, we have call for public comment. Do we have anybody that would like to speak? Please come up, sir. Please state your name, address.
Charles Carey, 16033 Wards Court, Dade City, Florida. Essentially a lifetime resident of this county. And I am driving on St. Joe Road. I am horrified by the condition of the county roads. And I'm sure it's the same in the West. It's awful, getting worse and worse. Ever since the state turned these roads over, they've been deteriorating. And now, what the heck is going on? I guess we need higher gas taxes. So I don't know what you guys are doing. These roads are getting worse and worse. St. Joe Road is 21 years old. Repaving is falling apart. Another thing, why it's taking so long to fix this intersection over here at Meridian and St. Joe Road, that dog leg has been that way since the 1920s. And now they're going to do something about it because about the growth in the county. And that's not going to start construction in 26. You've changed the plans from roundabout to a traditional. But the state is still in charge of that, even though they turned over 52, I can understand. I don't know if you have anything to do with that, but that should have been done 20 years ago, as I'm thinking as I'm coming in here. But these roads are in bad shape. I hope somebody takes some responsibility and does something about the roads, especially with the explosive growth in this county. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak?
I'm away. It's a public hearing.
All right, we'll close public comment.
Now, may I say something?
Yes, Commissioner.
I'll address that because we've the commission has just voted in a new way to pave our roads and pay for paving our roads instead of a PVAS. And the gentleman's very right about a lot of our roads. They're being delayed in getting paved throughout, even the east side, all over the county. And they are in bad shape, and they're going to get better. Because the way we pave roads now in the future, every homesteaded property in the county, not in the cities on a different program with the city governments. So in the county, there's a charge in the future of $51.84 per 100,000 value of a homesteaded home. The median value of a home in Pasco County is $161,000 plus or minus. So the fact of it is that equates back to what you'll pay annually. Instead of doing a PVAS, you'll pay annually roughly $85 to $100 for a home at that price. And so the fact of it is the PVAS has gone away. The PVAS system was put in because in our past, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, a lot of growth was happening on the west side of the county. And you had citrus growers and all over on this side and farmers on the east side of the Pasco. They didn't want to pay a tax for roads being paved on the west side of the county. So in fact, this new system will change that. We all pay for every road in the county in the future. But
What
it
if we
really
don't-
is
what
some
if we
minimum
want- What if
price.
we don't want to pay for these big, long roads on the east side? Those of us who live on the west side.
Well, you already got yours, so I mean, the fact of it is, you were one of them that voted for this new
Oh, no,
system.
no, we needed to do this, but I think also there was a big bill coming on the east side, because if you lived on Bayhead, say, and there's 100 homes and it's 4 miles long, how much is that gonna cost you? Because it's per house, per ERU, right?
Oh, it's
It would have
properties.
been
But the
undoable.
fact on the PVAS system, it was unfair. It actually put
Yeah.
neighbor against neighbor,
Yeah, exactly.
voting against them whether they wanted to pay the money to pave the road or not. And most times it failed. So what the gentleman was saying, he's right. A lot of these roads have been delayed in being paved because our people out in there wouldn't, I mean, you could have 49% of the people in that neighborhood want that road to be paved, but 51% voted against that PVAS. It did not happen. And that's what delayed a lot of paving throughout the county. This system, all of us can be proud, we're all going to be paying for roads all over the county.
And I think that's the way you do it in your cities. Yes.
Yeah.
We were one
Correct.
of the rare counties in the country that did it.
Yeah, we were only one of a few left doing it in a PVAS system. So most everybody else has gone to a taxing system. So, but the tax is minimal. So if you have a higher value home, you're going to pay a little more. But it's not that bad, to be honest with you. So, okay, I just wanted to answer his
thank you.
issues. And he's very much
Thank you.
right in what he's saying.
Thank you for explaining that. We didn't have anybody sign up, did we? I forgot to ask. Okay.
Online, you mean?
Was there anybody else want to speak other than the gentleman? So
All right, doesn't look like it.
if not, then you're closed.
All right. We'll close that portion. All right, we're going to move on to our approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, move approval.
Second.
Second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And now we're going to go on to our MPO Advisory Committee reports. First is the Citizens Advisory Committee. Ms. Tania Gorham.
Good morning. I'm going to review the July 31st, 2024 CAC committee report. We held our meeting, we had quorum. We reviewed the CAC meeting minutes of 6/5/2024. We also reviewed the MPO board report from the June meeting, MPO board June meeting. We took action on the following items to recommend it to the board for approval. The TIP roll forward, which you'll be hearing today, the Commission for Transportation Disadvantage grant in the amount of $35,000. We also did the public participation plan and limited English proficiency plan update. We reviewed that with the consultant from EXP with Casey Kersey. And also I will go back to the item that I did skip over, which is the annual committees and board schedule. We were looking at it as a CAC, all the committees, and the CAC had recommended changing the committee schedule from 1/2/2025 to 1/6 for the committees because it falls on the holiday week when everyone is returning. And then the following year, which is way in the future, which is 12/30 of 2025, those committee meetings to change them to 1/5/2026. And that is all for the CAC Advisory Committee report.
All right. Any questions, anyone? All right, thank you. Oh, sorry.
Tania? We talked about the 8/14 one for the MPO. Is that like after when the school board starts, when kids start back into school?
Correct, and when we do that item here, that's where we would bring it up for the board if they would like to change that to 8/22, I think was what we discussed,
Okay.
after school starts.
Anyone else?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Technical Advisory Committee, Cynthia Spidell.
Good morning, Cynthia Spidell. The Technical Advisory Committee met on July 31st, and our agenda was pretty much identical to what Tania just presented for the BPAC. So, went over our minutes, we did the tip roll forward, and then our action items were the same as Tania just mentioned. The Commission for the Transportation Disadvantage, the MPO Public Participation Plan, the Limited English Proficiency Plan, and it was just really nice to hear the efforts that everyone makes to encourage public participation and to make sure that everyone is included in the long-range planning for the area. And then our longest discussion was over the meeting schedule for next year. So we opted to cancel the December meeting, and because we figured we'd be meeting in January anyway for the following year. So that was about it, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have or anything that you would like me to bring back to the Technical Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee.
Can I
Do we
ask
have
you
to
a
have a
question?
motion?
Oh, yeah.
So, what exactly does the Technical Advisory Committee cover?
So it's all the technical experts. I'm there on representing the Pasco EDC for their seat that they have, but it's basically a forum, and I actually really love being part of it. But we have traffic ops there. We have Go Pasco. I almost said PCPT. We have Go Pasco there, and it's just a forum for us to kind of get, and we have Dade City comes, Newport Richey, the school board, and it's just a forum for all of us to go over what's going on. We get all the presentations from the DOT. We talk about the technical aspects of that, and then we make motions which eventually then come back to you. Sometimes we tweak things or we condition it, and then it comes back to you like that with our recommendation of approval.
So, do you look at, say, intersections that might be better suited as roundabouts? Is that?
That has come up. Back when 301, when DOT was presenting 301, we talked about that, the realignments and the roundabouts pertaining to that. So it does come up.
So
Turn
is it a
lane speed.
proactive or a reactive kind of technical advisory?
Well, we have a specific agenda every time, so we pretty much focus on that, but there's always a forum for the committee members to kind of discuss open items with each other. So like the last one, Go Pasco brought up some concerns about the posted speed limit being 45 on 52. And also he brought up the prior meeting, some backlogs along Old County Road 54 over in the west side, over by us on the west side of Little Road.
Okay, and then you guys make recommendations and then they come to us. I just haven't seen
Yes.
very many. And like just today, and I texted Nick on this, coming here, I came up 52, or Clinton Avenue, whatever we're calling it, turning left on Prospect, it's a flashing yellow light. So we were all the way backed up, like 20 cars and trucks, and because you have to wait for an opening then to go. In order to get here on time, I may have gone through a changing yellow to red, kind of.
We got a
Yeah,
picture
but
of that.
that's exactly the type of thing that someone would bring up at our committee meeting, and then traffic ops would note it and look into it, or as an example. So, but we have made recommendations that you should have gotten, like for example about the regional MPO board.
Yes. Yeah, I
we
remember
made
that one.
specific recommendations
Yeah.
where we asked for certain things to be considered or looked into, or certain aspects in the letter to be changed. So that should have come back to you.
Okay. I just want to get more educated on what you're
You should
stating.
come to one of our meetings.
I might do that.
There you go.
There's one,
Mr. Chairman.
usually we meet in Starkey, we always meet in Starkey Ranch at least once every couple of months, so that would be a good one to come to.
I believe that light turns green if you're there in time.
It does, it turned green
If
for
not,
me.
it'll go back red and then be
No,
flashing.
there's never, oh, you think there's
Or some-
a
It was
dedicated
green,
turning
yeah.
light?
It
And
was-
then
I
it's
think
flashed with
if you
yellow
pull up
after?
there, you're the first one there, and
Yeah, I
you're
wasn't.
sitting there
You were
before
in
it
the back.
changes. I think it does turn green for a while.
It does,
But if
yeah.
no one's sitting there, it goes to flashing yellow.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you have to take care of going through.
I just,
I just went through it. so-
Left
yeah,
turn,
there
right,
were a
left
lot, there were maybe 4 or 5 ahead of me, but there were 15 behind me
Yeah.
that did not make the light, so,
Yeah, when I got there this morning, I was thinking, boy, I wish there was a dual left here.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was very tempting to go on the cross-striped, but I didn't do it.
Mr. Chair, I had a quick question.
Sure.
You mentioned State Road 52 and the
Correct.
45 miles per hour zone, and I
Correct.
think it was GoPack that had the concern about.
Yes.
They wanted it faster than 45, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and then obviously we had a little discussion about it, and it turns out it was designed for much higher. And then, of course, we were talking about how you should plan your roads for the design speed you want to
Yeah.
achieve, as
Right.
opposed to designing them for a higher speed and then posting lower, because that's just going to encourage speeding. So
Exactly.
we had a
And that's
nice
been
discussion about that.
One of my concerns too, you know, when you have a 2-lane road that's 55 miles per hour, and then you make it great as a 4-lane road, but then you take it down to 45, you seem to be defeating your purpose. And I was told that some of the reason was because in curved areas that you have to have, and a lot of it is curved. You know, like on some highways, there's no curbing.
I thought it was just temporary, but DOT is here, so hopefully they can
Well,
answer that
okay.
question. But,
Okay.
but yeah, I
I'll-
thought it was just a temporary thing, and then when it's all finished and done, I thought it was going to go back up. At least that's what I thought was going to happen, but I'll defer to DOT on that.
I'd like to see that.
But-
It seems like, well, on 52, whenever you get to the west of Moon Lake Road, it seems to go down to 45 also, or, you know, when you're getting in that area, and just, unless
Yeah.
that's changed in more recent years, but, thank you. So-
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman?
Anybody else?
Yes.
And to touch
Mr.
on that
Mariano.
too, I agree with the speeds. The higher the speeds we have, the way these roads should be set up, moves traffic better. The slower speeds don't make sense. If that meant taking away more curb and gutter, would make sense. We'd save money on the road construction number 2 and efficiency of the roadway number 3. So, yeah, I'm with it.
Well, if that's the reason why, I don't know if it's.
Well, we can find out.
Well, we get DOT here.
Nick, you want to come tell us?
And I'm going to hand it over to DOT.
we're
Once it
gonna-
gets rough,
See what I
We're gonna
started?
go to- Hey, we're gonna move right on up to
Thank
the
you.
top.
It was more fun picking on Cynthia there.
Yeah, I mean, so if the overall question is the determination of speed limits, it's not just the curb and gutter. It's land use, it's access management, number of driveways, it's there's a lot of things that go into it. So it's not just the curbs. And what happens is the curb is the physical manifestation of the context classification. And so if it's an urban context, then you're going to see the curb. And so it's not that the curb's causing the slower speed, it's that the road is an urban road, so it has the curb. So it's not, you know, it's not that the curb dictated the speed.
But we were 55 before, or, you know.
What's wrong?
Oh, Justin Hall, FDOT District 7. Yeah. Sorry about that. Normally I'm good about that. I'm like, hey, they all know me at this point. Sorry, what was the follow-up?
Well, you know, I realize, you know, parts of this are entirely new roadways, you know, going through areas where there had not been roads before, but when you had a 2-lane road going 55, and then you get a 4-lane that's 45, and I realize, you know, with the 4-lane passing, you get a few more hazards, but still, it just seems to, you know.
Yes, some of it's the approved development, and that makes a difference. So when we're going through that process, we look at what's approved. And so even if it hasn't been built yet, but if there's like a major housing development coming, that's new traffic volume that we're going to anticipate to be there. And before, you didn't have that. I mean, 52 was a very rural road.
Yeah.
High speeds were not a problem, but the traffic pattern is changing on 52 with the approved development. Now listen, we can go back, we do speed studies all the time. If you don't have a trend of accidents and we do a speed study and everybody's going faster and the road will facilitate it, you know, we make those changes both ways, you know, faster and slower based on what we're seeing. But I can tell you that the 45 is a direct result of the approved development and what we're seeing out there.
Even before the development comes.
Correct, it's based on approved development.
But it's already approved.
Right.
Because
Well,
we've already approved development on that road where
But
you're
as you
talking
know, we
about.
go through
It's
cycles.
years away.
It's coming, and that
It's years
speed.
away.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's based, I mean, I can just tell you, we design everything based on the approved development. So when we built-
approved with a development agreement or approved in a rezoning or
It-
at
it's
what
a-
stage
it's
of
a-
development?
when it's approved and adopted by the county. So if they're,
But what is approved?
like if you have like a PD, if you have a, you know, if they come in for rezoning and they get approved for, you know, 2,500 homes, we take that into account.
But they may never get built, or maybe generations before they get built.
I mean, we make adjustments based on, I mean, that's why we do these regular modeling updates. That's why we do all these things. I mean, we harmonize regularly. And I mean, you know, the speed limit, as long as the road was designed for the higher speed, the speed limit posting can be adjusted.
Yeah, it feels
And
like it
there's,
should be
there's
higher.
statute, there's law behind that, but, it can be adjusted based on speed studies, so.
But
Mr. Chairman?
those developments, they're moving dirt out there.
I mean,
on
I'm
some
just
of
gonna
those
say this, I mean, I'll
developments
tell you this, what we're seeing on 52 is what we saw on 56 when we built the extension. We built the 56 extension, and then, probably within 6 months of us building that, they were turning dirt, there were houses going up.
Oh, yeah.
In 52, we're saying the same thing, the, distribution centers and housing developments are going in, I mean, they're turning dirt out there, so.
right now. Yeah, that's correct.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to have DOT take another look at 52 on the other side, from, let's say, Little Road over.
Okay.
Because since that's been multi-laned and the speed sometimes gone down to 45, literally, there's no development change there, and the speeds are still staying low. So I don't know what's approved coming in that would make that happen, but I think that should get relooked at, because that could be a much smoother running road if it had more speed to it.
And we can do that, we can do a speed study,
Okay.
take a look
Thank
at
you.
it.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks, Justin.
thank you.
Anyone else? Good, thank you, sir.
I think we have to have a motion on this item.
Do we have to have a motion for these
It
reports?
says approve. Yes or no?
Just the,
It
action
does say
items.
approved though, yeah, recommendation.
I mean, it says it here, that's why I was, it says approve, so.
I don't see it on mine. For the minutes above, but
We approved a new member, but
No, just,
we skipped stuff.
just the action items, yeah.
She's gonna do it under her section.
Oh, no, it doesn't say approve under committee reports. I'm lying.
Which one is it?
All right, then, Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee? Dacia Mitchell? No.
Good morning, everyone. Dacia Mitchell, Vice Chair. Similar to what you've heard from our other committees this morning, we did have quorum and approved all of our action items, including the TIP amendment, transportation disadvantaged grant agreements, upcoming meeting schedules, the PPP and the LEP. One thing that I would like to mention, especially is a thank you to our committee chairman, Brian Michaels, who in advance of Pedestrian Safety Month, which is coming up in October of '24, has worked very diligently on the Project Red Light Stop for Pedestrians.
Yes.
So if you're unfamiliar, there was a change at the state level where signalized intersections previously had a yield to stop when a pedestrian was entering the crosswalk. That has now been modified to be a full stop, and that vehicles must remain at a full stop the entirety of the time that a pedestrian is in that crosswalk. He has worked not only with our Pasco law enforcement, state law enforcement agencies, but also with surrounding counties to try and do joint marketing efforts to ensure that we have drivers' education to this issue, as well as making sure that signage is being updated from the yield to the stop. So we're very appreciative of his efforts in that and wanted to make you all aware.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I'm going to have some bike trail questions, but and comments, but I was going to leave them to the end. Are you staying?
Unfortunately, this morning I'm unable.
And Tina's
to
not
stay.
here?
Tina is here, yes.
Oh,
Tina's in the back.
Okay.
So,
But one question on the BPAC, because one of my appointees, Gunther Flagg, he's traveling a
Yes.
lot right now. So he's very concerned about his inability to attend. But did the rules change that he can attend by Zoom?
no, unfortunately, Zoom is still not permitted when it comes to the approval of action items. I believe that was a change that was done countywide. We did have a lengthy conversation about membership at our last meeting, namely, as we very much appreciate Gunther's, all of his insights, obviously being an avid cyclist and having been on the committee since its inception. We do also understand that our committee rules insist that after 3 absences, someone's membership is evaluated. What we would like to do then is invite those who have valid opinions to come along as guests and obviously make those opinions
Okay, so he
known.
cannot participate by Zoom?
No, ma'am, no.
All right, so
I'm
I'll
sorry.
have to look for a new member for me. It's going to be hard to replace him.
Yeah,
He can be the alternate?
He could be the alternate.
Okay. All right, I'll work on that.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
And that was, we have two committee members, Morgan and Gunther. I was part of the BPAC when it first started with Pasco as well. And we've talked to Morgan and Gunther about that. They can be alternates, and as any person, they have that opportunity to provide public comment at any of our meetings as well. And they'll always be a part of this committee no matter what. It's just very important as we have action items that we have a quorum.
Yeah.
And that was the discussion that we had.
And he's got projects that are not here, so he's gone by. Okay.
Any questions, anyone?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our action items. First one is a new member appointment, MPO Citizens Advisory Committee. Ms. Dania Gorman, Executive Director of the MPO, will present this item. Please state your name for the record.
Thank you. Tania Gorman, MPO Executive Director. This morning we have a vacancy on the CAC and District 1 currently, and we would like to fill that position with Mr. David West. He is in Commissioner Oakley's district, and Commissioner Oakley does approve David West to fill in this position.
I'll make a motion.
This is Dade City's, this is our city representative. And Mr. West has served as the alternate for several years. At one time, he was the actual member. He stepped back to allow Steve from First National Bank of Pasco to serve. And now he's moving back into the position. So City Commission has approved Mr. West to be our appointment to the Citizens Advisory Committee. And so I would move, Mr. Chair, that we appoint Mr. West.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
He's there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, thank you.
Okay. Tania Gorman, MPO Executive Director. We have the Pasco MPO tip roll forward amendment. This amendment comes from FDOT annually every year. They look at the previous fiscal year. In this case, it is fiscal year 24 projects that need to roll over into the new tentative work program for fiscal year 25 through 29. The projects are placed in your packet. They'll be rolled over into the new tentative work program schedule, and also the amounts. So prime example, we have the overpasses in there. We have Hernando County Line Road, for example. So all those projects will roll over into the next tentative work program year. Asking you to review and approve.
I left my package at home. Is there anyone here that can email me, or are you going to put it up here? Because I can't see anything on it anymore.
It's right up here.
Okay.
If you want to go to the agenda.
And we went over this. This is rollovers, you said?
Yes, roll forward. Roll forward. Questions, comments, concerns?
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, next up, we have Transportation Disadvantage Planning Grant Agreement. Ms. Lori, I'm gonna mess it up.
It's okay. Good morning, Lori Shadiger. The MPO is seeking your approval for the Transportation Disadvantage Planning Grant Agreement to support LCB staffing and essential planning activities. It's our yearly grant that we receive.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next up, we have our MPO Board and Committees meeting schedule, 2025 draft. Tania Gorman, please state your name.
Tania Gorman, Executive Director, hearing a lot from me today. Annually, we come to you to bring our MPO Board and Committee meeting schedule for adoption. This is currently the draft. I met with many of you over the last week to discuss our schedule for 25. Can you believe it's 25 already? While looking at the schedule, we were noticing some date conflicts, especially with the committee meetings. We reviewed those as discussed earlier with the committee review. They were stating that on 1/2 in January of 25, we're moving that to 1/6. And in December, which is actually the January committee and boards, but the way it fell on 12/30, that would be again the week where people are on vacation, and as New Year's Eve is coming up, we move that to 1/6. However, we do have October and November committee and board meetings, and we also have an August board meeting with Commissioner Mariano mentioning that it is back to school week that week. So we may want to move it to the following week, which is 8/22, to have that meeting. So at this time, I'll open it up for discussion with the comments that were presented.
Mr. Chair, and we have the League of Cities conflict sometimes. Does anybody know the date of that?
It is often that middle of the month, August 14th. This is for next year. I can probably get you an answer before the meeting is out.
I thought League of Cities was the week before the 14th.
We're meeting next week.
You're meeting next week, okay.
Yeah, that's, for 2024. I can get you an answer in the next few minutes. I'll send some up to my contact in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Sure.
I believe we also have an accelerated. Okay.
Tina, we also talked about the, in March, looking at what the school board had for their vacation week, to make sure we didn't schedule that same week as well.
It was the week after.
So we're okay.
Yeah, we're good.
But I don't, what conflicts do any of us have? Who has school-age kids here? Yeah, but you do?
Yeah.
What, one left? Two still in the?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think it's good for our workers too, that may have families too, so.
Oh, that's true. They're not as old as us, or me, anyway.
Don't rush them, please.
That's what happens when we get a youngster on the board.
Good balance.
Yes, balance. Exactly. So is there any date changes that are needed, other than we're looking to League of Cities?
Everyone good?
Is
Other than
August, are we looking to change August date? Or are we okay with August?
I think we're waiting to hear from Scott.
He's
I
checking.
think it's for August 14th is the date
That's the
under
one pending.
consideration. So hopefully I'll get an answer back in just a
Okay.
second.
Well, we can
We can
move to
change it.
approve pending the
Yeah.
August
Okay.
date, and then I can bring it back in October, and we can review at that time and make sure it's updated for the final.
I text in memo style, so it takes me longer.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
so
Commissioner.
we're changing the January date back a week.
Yes,
Okay.
2/16.
We're gonna leave the March the way it is. August could stay just the way it is depending on League of Cities. And we're gonna eliminate the December meeting.
The December meeting will be on 1/5 of 2026.
Okay.
So the January of 25 is on the 6th?
The January 2025, I'm sorry, yeah, the January 2025 is on 1/6. The January 5th of 2026, 1/5 2026 is the January meeting, I'm sorry. 1/5 2026.
This
So-
is
so-
2026.
Yeah, it has 12/30 on the bottom. It says December.
Mine says 1/8.
1/8, mine says 1/8.
That's your board meeting,
Oh,
and then the committees are before it.
All right, so the same thing about the January meeting in 2025, you get the same issue with 2026. It's still during the vacation
Right.
weeks.
And we changed it, the January 2025 meeting, it's on, the committees are on 1/6, the board is on 1/9.
Okay, so now I just messed that up.
But why
it's
not
on
just
1/9.
say
The
you're gonna
board meeting's on
eliminate?
1/9.
Mr. Chairman?
Committee meeting's on 1/6.
You already had that.
So this is wrong.
Well, no,
Oh, up here, you look top.
the top, yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
So if
Commissioner.
I'm looking at the 2025 meeting, if we're not going to do the December meeting at 12:30, shouldn't it just be like dealt with next year with what the January meeting date's going to be? Because you're not going to have two meetings in January.
No, the January meeting is for 2025,
That's okay, we'd move that back a week, I get that.
right? And then the December meeting, we don't have a December meeting.
Right, so we're gonna
That
lim-
should just say January of 2026.
Or just eliminate it, because it's going to be the following year, you're going to cover it anyway. So you
Yeah.
just say there's no meeting in
Yeah,
December.
there's no meeting in
Should be
December.
blank like July.
Keep it simple.
Correct.
It's a little foreshadowing for us.
Yeah, that makes it sound better. There's no meeting in December.
Correct.
Mr. Chair, I'd move approval based on the discussion and also contingent on Scott finding out about the August meeting.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, next up, we have a major update, Pasco MPO Public Participation Plan 2024. Casey Kersey, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, everyone. I am Casey Kersey, and I work for EXP Engineering, and I am one of the general planning consultants for the MPO. I've had the privilege of doing public outreach with the Pasco MPO now for about 10 years, and it's a privilege and an honor. They really go above and beyond as an MPO for all the events that they partner with. So the request here today is to adopt the current public participation plan. It went out for the 45-day required public comment. We did not get any comments because it's not project specific. It's overall saying the MPO recognizes that they do outreach and sets the goals for that. So very, very active and successful MPO, and I'd like to seek adoption of the plan.
I'm gonna get a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to stay up because I'm the next one also.
Okay. Limited English Proficiency Plan.
So do I need to state my
Thank
name
you.
again? Casey Kersey for this item as well. This is also another MPO required activity. The federal government requires each MPO across the nation to look at what their language issues are through the county. Pasco has had no changes. We really, everything in Pasco County stays below the safe harbor requirements. Even Spanish, we're only at about maybe up to 4% at best. Do you want to show that graphic real quickly, Stephanie? See if that pops up. So that gives you an update as of the 2022 American Community Survey that even with Spanish within Pasco County, you're at 3.48%. And the federal government requires anything 5% over per language. For the MPO to be aware of that, it really is to help the MPO be ready for a public meeting and have services. So nothing changes. We're just going to readopt it. We refreshed it with the census information. The MPO, as I said, goes above and beyond. When we do safety events, we've done 2 safety events in Dade City this year. We've been down, of course, to Zephyr Hills. We've been all over the county. It's fantastic. But because it is safety and we want to serve the people who are there, we always have Spanish translators just in case so that everybody is served regardless. But what this is telling you as an MPO, they already meet the letter of the law as far as the federal government is required, and it's updated, and we're just asking for approval to adopt the new demographics that go with that. So I'm seeking approval of the plan.
Second.
Discussion? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. All right, next up, we have our Go Pasco update. Please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Nina Elkin, Go Pasco Director. I'm just here to give you a quick update on what's going on in our neck of the woods. So just to start with the ridership, so we have increased our ridership so far for this year before the ending of the fiscal year. The increase is of 4% compared to last year, so we are transporting about 55,000 people on a monthly basis. This is on fixed route, and in regards of our capital projects that we started about a year ago, so we start with our route study. Currently, data was collected and is being analyzed by our consultants. So we are expecting some realignment on some of the routes, as well as maybe some adjustments to current routes, and resources will be allocated to a different routes. And that's what we're looking at right now. We will be conducting an outreach for this, and you will be notified so we can get some input for our stakeholders as well as for the general public. Bus stop improvements. We are working really hard to improve the bus stops and make them ADA compliant. Right now we have about 1,122 bus stops throughout Pasco County, and only 40% are ADA compliant. We just finished a couple of big projects in Canton, State Road 52 on La Madera, and on 52 and US 19. We upgrade some of those bus stops, and we are currently in design for our bus stop located at US 19 and Emerald, and we meet with Hernando County. The route come and meet us there, so that's very important since we actually are transferring people from Pasco and Hernando, vice versa. We also enter into a contract for our ITS, Intelligent Transportation System. This is going to be for data collection from our buses, and also voice enunciators and real-time information. And this is something that I mentioned before. We signed the contract. We had our kickoff meeting last week. Next thing is our discovery phase. So the vendor will come and look at our buses, and from there we're going to start installation. This is to be completed in spring 2025. Hopefully there is no pushback and we go live by then. Land acquisition, we purchased 2 lots, one in Port Rich, and another one in Zephyr Hills for our transfer station. We're waiting for DOT funding. It's going to be funding these 2 projects and use some of the mobility fees that we have, and we will go into design hopefully October. And this will take about 6 to 9 months, and then it's construction. So we are about 2 years away. So this will be our two first transfer stations. We don't have actually one currently. And lastly, I have our Galen Wilson. That's our administration and operations facility. This building is pretty much old. And so we're looking to renovate and expand because of the growth of not only the system, but also in regards of the staff. So it's something that we're also working, and that will be fully funded by FDA. And that's so far that's it on our update. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Stark?
Do we have electric buses?
No, we don't.
So I see all these other counties getting these federal grants for electric buses. Why?
We were approached by it. The situation was that they were giving us only $300,000 when a vehicle is about $1.3 million. So we have to come up with a match. But it's not only the fact that you need a match for that vehicle, but also it's the infrastructure. This has to be a countywide effort or initiative, because each of those chargers or sites are about $300,000 that we will have to install throughout the county in order for the buses to be charged. When we fill up the buses with diesel once a day, it lasts for the whole day. With electric vehicles, we will have to charge at least 2 to 3 times, and it takes 3 to 4 hours depending on the type of chargers that we will get in order to charge those vehicles.
Okay, so you're saying the grants that the other counties are getting only pay for 1/3 of the bus?
Well, for example, what we were looking at was just to get 2 vehicles. We have 35 vehicles total, so 2 vehicles really wouldn't do anything for us. Other counties they went, for example, PSDA bought 70 vehicles, but they already have
7 or 70?
70. And they already have that implemented, so it's easier for them to go out for this type of funding sources. In addition to that, it's not only the vehicle, but we also have to think about mechanics, right? We need the mechanics specialized on that type, and since it's so new, it's hard right now it's even hard to get mechanics, even drivers. So that also comes with the training. It's not just buying the vehicle. So it has to be an initiative that we as a whole have to start.
Does Hillsborough have electric buses?
No, they have CNG gas. They use gas. And they have, that was something that they implemented probably, I would say, 15 years ago.
And we use diesel?
We use diesel, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It lasts longer.
It lasts longer, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. And the city, this year in the budget, I went ahead and asked for money for bus stops in Zephyr Hills in coordination with Pasco County. Because I took the planners, we took a trip and I just saw, if you're trying to wait for a bus in July in Florida, you really need a shelter of some kind. If we really want to encourage people to use a bus, we need to go ahead and invest in making it comfortable to use a bus. So that was something that we're working on. I want them to budget the next 4 or 5 years, see if we can get everyone in Zephyr Hills with a shelter. The other thing too is, look at some of your bus stops to and from them. There's no sidewalk, the grass is grown up, and we need to work together collectively to try and make it a little better to get to these shelters. But one thing I was going to ask you, and this is something I asked Kurt several years ago, a real-time app like Uber or Lyft, is that what you're saying the consultant was going to work on?
Well, it's not like Uber, not Uber or Lyft, but yes, it's real-time information. So if you're at the bus stop or you're close to a bus stop, you will be able to pull up the number and it will tell you where your bus is exactly. So you can, calculate how long you have to get to the bus stop. And to your point in regards to the shelters, yes, we have already, part of our ADA improvement program, it also includes shelters. In some locations we put shelters, it's based on ridership. We already have an established model and style and color, so it will be it's a standard throughout the county.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and my team is working with you.
Yeah, and I appreciate your work.
Thank
and
you.
The other thing, the buses that we rode were great. I mean, the drivers were great. It was a very nice experience. So.
Thank you, thank you. We have been working on replacement our vehicles, and last 2 years we got 10, like the ones that you saw. So
right.
hopefully
yeah,
every year
nice.
we're going to be aiming for more. So
thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Chair.
Well, yeah, I had one more question left in my package of two.
You gonna wait on me, or?
I can go after.
Well, I mean, you were talking, but I had my hand raised.
I know, but I said I had two questions, and
Go
I'll
ahead.
ask them. And this may be the same, who knows? I met with JJ, our person over public safety, and they mentioned, and I think you're in discussions with our jail folks, when they let people out of the jail, they have to walk 8 miles to get to a bus stop.
Yeah.
So what can we do? Because that's just not a good
We just
plan.
had a meeting last week about it. I'm going to be looking into, but years ago we used to have Route 41, and it was right around, I guess they implemented right around 2019 before COVID. So what happened is that when COVID hit, there was no ridership. The ridership never built. You need about two years to see, your ridership increase, whether the route is a good route and is performing well. But that route did never pick up because of that.
So what about using the transportation disadvantaged, little smaller vehicle to go there twice a day or something?
But those you have to meet the criteria to utilize those funds. They have certain criteria in order for us to book those trips. Plus, those trips have to be scheduled at least 24 hours. Well, typically, when they are released right on the spot, like within an hour. They are
No, but I think this is the discussion that we had with what's Captain Jenkins? What's her name? Yeah, I think is it Jenkins?
Yeah, Jenkins.
Is maybe that they would, even though the people get released, if they didn't have a right, that we could have two time stops a day, one in the mid-morning, one in the late evening.
That's what we're discussing, to have like an express.
So I suggested that smaller van, transportation.
Yeah, those vehicles are designated for demand response. So to do that, we will have to utilize fixed route vehicles to go up and down because it has to be open to the general public. So although we will turn around at the corrections site to go back on 41. So we're looking into that.
Okay, my question is, you start off with you're going to build 2 new bus stops, but you had to go into engineering.
Yes, they have to go.
Why aren't we using a engineered bus stop that we would use everywhere with a top?
Oh, in regards to the shelters, yes, we already have a shelter. We know what type of shelter. The situation is the design of the actual concrete pad, because it depends on the elevation and where it is. Sometimes there is, we will have to relocate bus stops based on the drainage or based on the site.
Well, I just think we need to make things uniform so that we already have the engineered plan that would go on each of those when it comes up, saves that time. And you wouldn't do engineering unless you had the money, but if you did one that fits all occasions,
Yes.
maybe a little tweaking, you could get to permitting and construction quicker, and these be quicker for our citizens. So that was my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. We'll consider that.
Okay.
Mayor Hoover?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You mentioned the transfer station going in Port Richey. I'm assuming that's outside the city limits. Where exactly is
Yes,
that?
that's on Fox Hollow,
Fox Hollow.
where the fleet department used to be. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The price.
You mentioned there was another one going in somewhere around there as well, or?
I'm sorry?
There was another city, or?
In Zephyr Hills,
Zephyr
yeah.
Hills.
There is a couple of blocks from the city hall, yes. North of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner?
Just as, you may want to look at these, but we had one in Beacon Woods, and Commissioner Stark, I think you had one in Trouble Creek where it became homeless shelters, so be careful at the design, make sure the benches have the blocks in them so it doesn't
Yes.
create a significant
Yeah,
problem.
they're big, yeah.
Yeah. Just quick, do you remember the range or the mileage for those electric buses for that grant program?
I have it, but I can get it for you. Because
Okay.
we did an analysis in order,
Yeah.
each vehicle, like I said, is a 1.3 million, while a regular diesel vehicle is 600,000. So that's.
How much time does it take to recharge one of those buses? You know that.
For what we did, it took about 3 to 6 hours, based on the type of charger.
Kills a lot of your days.
Plus getting the parts.
Yes.
And people to be able to work on it.
Yes,
Parts are-
other counties have the issues with the standing water. Sometimes you are at the bus stop and you have to pick up somebody and the batteries are under. So once the vehicle is out of commission, you have to go and get a tow truck. So it's a lot to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, from my experience, it seems like the bigger you go, the less practical it is for the vehicle. I have a couple, and one of them is like a 350 van, and literally the mileage is like 100 miles on it. So you have to plan your route, closely. And I have one that gets like 270 mile range. But as soon as you put a trailer on it, it cuts it in half. So you just have to be,
Yes, it depends on
strategic
how
with
heavy
that
the
stuff,
vehicle
right.
is, and so.
Yeah.
We don't have, the luxury of having that many vehicles as a backup. So other agencies have it, so they can switch around, but for us, it will be very difficult. So it's not only operational.
What's the cost difference between an electric
The
bus and
cost
a
to-
diesel?
For the
How much?
implementation. I'm sorry?
The diesel bus runs, what, $1 million?
Those buses are about 600,000.
A diesel bus is around
A diesel
600?
bus is about 600, and I would say 650,000, the buses
Okay.
that we currently are getting.
So the electric is
The
how
electric
much?
is about 1.3 million.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna drive,
Yeah.
we're gonna stick with diesel
Yeah.
buses for a while.
Yeah. Oh, we did the homework, we looked into it. I don't have this
You can buy
information right now,
two
but.
for one. so-
Right.
Yes.
Let everybody else perfect the technology.
Yeah, let them get it all
Yeah.
right.
And they will run forever. These take
Yeah.
forever.
Yes, we have buses
Solar
right now
panel
that
on
they are
top.
like 15 years old and they're still running,
Yep.
And then you can take them and turn them into houses.
We talk
Have you
about
seen
that
that
too,
show?
actually. We talk about it.
Yeah.
Tiny houses.
Only in Starkey Ranch.
Go ahead, sir.
Just one thing real quick. Several years ago, and I'm gonna say it's about 15 years ago, when we were working on a streetscape plan in downtown Dade City with the black lampposts, the black trash receptacles,
Yeah.
the black benches, the public transportation, your department was very good to work with us to make the shelters black, to match everything else that we were doing. So, a lot of everything else in the county is green. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention, again, why it's black in Dade City with the shelters, and that if there is any future maintenance plans, if something needs to be changed out, we would greatly appreciate that you help us stay with our color scheme with our streetscape and
Thank
keep
you.
the
Yeah, thank you
shelters
for your
black.
support, yeah.
We appreciate so much that the county was willing to work with us at the time that we were going through that streetscape. several
Yes,
years ago.
and thank you, because we work with your team, the public works team, with regards of our road, that we had an issue, and they were very receptive and helpful, so thank you.
Thank you. I just want to make sure you were aware of that too, because
Yeah.
that was before your time with the county, and we just want
Well,
to make
I
sure
used
that
to
it
work
stays
here many
consistent.
years ago, so I remember that. I put those
Okay, well,
shelters
thank
there,
you.
so.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman?
Sir.
Yes, Commissioner.
Is there any conflict with Mayor Black promoting the color black in Dade City?
My residuals from that are very little, yes.
I just happen to
It's
have
been that many years, it's down to almost nothing now.
Since he's going to take this information back, I'd like to tell Mr. Black to carry this back to Dade City to make more open space, more Erie-friendly sidewalks or places in and around in the city that would be better. And let's try to find a flower that blooms all the time, because everywhere I travel up north, all I see is the prettiest flowers ever. We have so much heat here, we can't have flowers like that, it seems like. So I wish we could do that to our city, so that'd be good. And all over the county, actually. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a,
We like having the planters downtown, and it is always a challenge keeping them stocked and
Right,
flowering, and yes, and we go through phases where it's this one is the preferred one, and then another one comes along, and we're working with a group of merchants too, so
Right,
a lot of
yeah.
people involved in it.
oh, yeah, it's good.
I was going to see if we could let the record show that Dade City's got high maintenance.
Yes, they do.
We're always glad to host everybody in the county here in downtown Dade City, though, yes. Keep it pretty for you all. We're all
Appreciate you.
Thanks. Anybody else?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, looks like we have no status reports or presentations. We do have one item on there for other business, and I think Commissioner Mariano has something else too.
And I have some questions.
Hello. You have questions? Okay.
Questions?
Yes.
Our date for the Florida League of
Oh.
Cities Conference next August 14th through the 17th. So, yeah, it's generally right in the middle of the month, so August 14th to 17th of 2025.
I think that messed us up last year.
We will get that changed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Tania Gorman is asking for approval to hold the December 5th, 2024 MPO board meeting in Dade City as opposed to the pre-scheduled Newport Richey location. Secondary option is Starkey Ranch Theater in Odessa. Oh, I don't like that at all.
You don't have to come.
I need some West Side folks.
Well,
help me
I
out.
give options. I was trying to give options. Due to a scheduling conflict, we cannot hold the normally scheduled West Pasco, the MPO December board meeting in the West Pasco Government Center. So
Just
we
do that,
have
though.
to.
Do it at Starkey Ranch.
We can do it at Starkey Ranch, but I wanted to bring the option to the board today to decide where you'd like to hold it. This is our LRTP adoption, so it is a very important meeting that we must have, and we must have quorum. I'll put that out there now. That's why we spread it up a week early, so that way we could all be there. So I just wanted to know preferences, and then we'll go according to scheduling availability.
What date is it?
December 5th.
December 5th,
December 5th of
2024.
2024.
Yeah. So would we like to have it in Dade City or?
I'm not sure I'm here. One second. Yeah,
Or Starkey Ranch? Or,
y'all can be there, but I will be,
Somewhere far away, having a good time.
I will be in California. Sorry, NACO board.
Your job's here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I won't be here.
Tough
I have
crowd
a board of
today.
directors meeting in Sonoma County. And I can zoom in, but I can't vote?
Yes, you will be able to. The board does have the ability to.
Okay, I'll zoom in.
anyone else have a
You
conflict?
can zoom in and vote.
You cannot vote, but you
Cannot
can
vote.
zoom in.
Yeah, but I can comment.
We just have to have.
I always
quorum.
want to comment.
No, I understand
Well, the
the
commenting is
video,
worth
the
more.
video on that meeting is good, but the audio is cut out on that.
All right,
we
so
prefer Starkey
which
Ranch.
location?
Starkey.
Starkey's
Starkey's
fine,
fine.
since it was supposed to be over there.
Okay.
Hey, just a question, is it, are the city council chambers available to be used for these type meetings or no? Because I see you guys got a decent facility that can be used, if it's over there.
Well, I'm sure we could if we wanted.
Is it
We
optional?
needed
I don't
it,
see
you know.
why we couldn't. We just always use the kind of bigger rooms, but.
Yeah,
But Newport Richey's got a pretty.
Yeah, ours is
decent
relatively
size.
small, but theirs is
Yeah.
decent size.
It's always an option if you want it, yeah.
Okay,
It doesn't matter to me, because I'm not gonna be there.
all right. I'll put it down. I'll put it down as an option.
I'll be there.
Newport Richey?
Newport Richey Council.
Yeah, why not do it in Newport Richey?
Why don't you look into that and we'll.
All right, I'll find out today and get back with you. All right.
Okay, thank you. All right, now.
Is that close enough for you?
Yes, that's perfect.
I figured you guys probably, I would definitely like it myself, so
Need driving directions.
we might be able to pass
I can
that.
find it. All right. Did you have something, Mr. Mariano?
No?
Okay, I got
I'll just
some.
pass it,
Catherine does.
Did you have something?
underpass of Cody, or? Okay, we can talk about it. So, status of the underpass at Cody River and between Newport Richey and Port Richey.
Currently, Mayor Hoover and I had a discussion earlier in the week about Cody River, and we are looking at trying to revive it, the project, but there's still a lot of unknowns, such as the right-of-way catches, also the multi-use trail path. There's the project significantly, also the funding. There's no memorandum of understanding between the cities, who would lead the project, are you coming to the county? There's just a lot of unknowns right now still with this project. So I believe Mayor Hoover had said that he would like to revisit it at the end of the year when he had a clearer picture of how to proceed forward with the.
Yeah, I'm very supportive, and just what do we need to do to act on it? I mean, we need somebody to kind of coordinate it.
All right, so we've been trying to coordinate this for like many, many years. This is something that's safety, it's 19. You guys have an opportunity now that Catches has bought the marina beside, working a swamp with them, which is you guys have to do, we can't do it.
Right.
To me, if you can make that happen, that would be a great in-kind contribution to not even worry about the finances. But literally, people are dying crossing roads. It's still the most dangerous highway. This is an asset that would help traverse from both cities to help boost the area. I really don't see why you need to wait a year or till the end of the year to go do it. It's like, let's get this rolling. Let's get government out of the way and come together and make this happen. But you guys are the crux, because without Catch's cooperation, your cooperation, it's going nowhere.
Right,
and at that point, it's like, it might as well be even off the list.
Yeah, so actually, Tim Lowe reached out to me yesterday, wants to talk to me, and so I was going to actually talk to him after this meeting. I don't know if it's part of that or not, but we've already had the conversation, and obviously they're looking to submit a vacation of Bridge Street there, which is what you're kind of talking about. So we've had these discussions. It's just a matter of them moving forward with their stuff so we can talk about it.
Yeah, it seems like you have some good leverage there.
It's a great trade-off. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah, we're on it. I mean, I don't recall saying we wait till the end of the year. I mean, it's.
Well, that's when we do the call for projects for the next list of priority projects and the next tentative work program. So that's where it falls. That's right.
I have a question, Chair. Is there anything in the works for raising Grand Bridge in the city of Newport Richey?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I said, is there anything in the works for raising the bridge?
Oh, funny you said that.
yeah.
You're talking about the US 19 bridge?
No.
Grand Boulevard?
Grand Boulevard, isn't that?
Oh.
Yeah,
That's currently underway.
It's very low.
Yeah, it's right now it's a county bridge, but they are going to redo it, and so the city was going to kick in the difference to raise it 5 feet or approximately 5 feet. I think it's still a go. It's just kind of pushed out a little bit, I think. Hello.
Good morning. Nick Duran, County Engineer. The raising of the Grand Boulevard Bridge is a county capital improvement project being done in partnership with the city of Newport Richey. We're under design right now to increase the vertical clearance of the bridge by as many as 5 feet. We're going to try to match the vertical clearance at Madison to the extent we can. Some upstream, downstream challenges that we're going to be working through with the city in order to maintain access to the parcels to the north and south of the bridge. That's what I wanted to say about Grand. And we do have construction funding lined up fiscal 26 or 27.
That was my next question.
Yep.
So.
And we have submitted, just so that the MPO board is aware, we have submitted a bridge investment program grant application. Yes. That is a federal grant program that is available for bridge replacements like this. We have a, I'm going to press me on the details. I believe we have a medium rating, medium high rating for the grant, and so we hope to receive good news that we will receive some funding from that grant program, but we are going to proceed with the construction of the bridge. Regardless, we would like to see the federal dollars buy down that cost a little bit.
So would that be, are you saying like 26, 27?
26, 27 for construction.
Construction.
That's correct. If I could go back, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
To the preceding discussion about the underpass at 19, and I do want to make sure that the MPO board is aware, we have been coordinating with the city of Fort Ritchie on modifications to the intersection of US 19 at Grand Boulevard to improve safety and operations, adding separate turn lanes on the east and the west side. We are absolutely working in collaboration with the city to see that project come to fruition. That may allow for the ability to also request DOT permission to let golf carts cross at that location as part of the, not the purpose of the project, but maybe an ancillary benefit of improving safety and operations at that intersection. So we're working with the city on that. Just having conversations with DOT and the audience right now about the underpass component. I wanted to make sure the MPO board is aware that the underpass, construction of an underpass on the US 19 bridge is a Penny for Pasco project. It's on our Penny for Pasco project list, so we have funding available through the Penny for Pasco program to advance that. We're going to be working out some potential scenarios as far as leading and funding for the design of a bridge under the US 19 corridor. So we'll see if we can't move this from talked about for years to actually under design and moving forward to implementation.
And then me. I just have a quick comment that I'm happy you brought up the golf cart because I was going to bring that up because we can have somebody on a mobile scooter cross 19, but they don't want golf carts to cross 19.
It's an archaic rule that the state has.
And we're a waterfront community, and we like to ride our golf carts and go out to restaurants. So.
So, Mayor, going back to that conversation, our conversation, Jack. So, I'll say the Grand Boulevard. Just an update on that. We're expecting that engineering to come back anytime now, so we'll have numbers and stuff on that project. So, hopefully, that'll be moving forward. On the underpass, and I hate to put you on the spot, but I had asked you a couple of meetings ago, you were going to get back to me. I don't remember seeing anything, so I apologize if you sent it. On the getting down to the underpass, that's a DOT's with embankment coming off 19. And I think the question I'd ask was, what can we do there? Do we actually need to get some of the parking from catches in order to have that ingress, or are we able to do it on the DOT easement?
Yeah, so they just told me this morning, I was actually following up on that. So we do have to take, I think it's 12 parking spaces.
Say your
from
name.
Catches. Justin Hall, FDOT, District 7. So yes, we would need to take 12 parking spaces from Catches to be able to do that.
Okay, so there is no avenue to use, there's quite a bit of green space there that for a sidewalk I think would work, but.
Yeah, there's not, just based on the way that approach to the bridge is designed, there's no way to eat into that. So we can't do that.
Okay, and then I'd heard there was, I guess, some kind of issue about going underneath the bridge altogether with DOT. Is that not true? Is it?
No, I mean, when we did the feasibility before, the logistics under the bridge were more the width based on if we were going to facilitate golf carts and pedestrians. And
that was what the problem was?
We were getting into the situation of where we're going to creep into where we had a Coast Guard issue, but now that that's not the case, we don't have an issue.
What's not the case?
About having golf carts going under right now.
You don't want
the
golf carts
conversation
to go
now
under?
is just bicycle and pedestrian.
No, so obviously I think it's a smarter way is to keep the golf carts on the road, have them cross at 19 with the Grand Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah, which we're in conversations about that, about the golf cart crossing on Grand up above.
And then send all the people bikes and stuff underneath the bridge would be
Which then solves a lot of design issues.
And cost as well.
Yeah.
May I jump in?
Commissioner?
Just planting a seed. I know it could be a long way off, but we were in a meeting with the mayor and Newport Ritchie and others on a project on the other side of the river from Catches, and just wondered one day if we wanted to look at that 19 bridge being elevated, because it keeps a lot of bigger boats from coming under. And so I just want to plant a seed that maybe we keep that in our minds and include a pedestrian component to that as well, to get from one side of the river to the other. There is funding out there for stuff like that, but how old is that bridge over the river?
I'd have to get the exact date. I mean, I can tell you it's not structurally deficient, which is what unlocks a lot of the funding is when a bridge crosses into structurally deficient, so it's not deficient, but I can get the age.
Yeah.
In fact, we could come back to the next meeting and present that information. But I will tell you, I mean, just based on the way US 19 is constructed in that area, and you're in a curve going into that bridge, I can tell you that will be expensive to raise that bridge. I mean, I don't know dollar amounts, but I'll just tell you, because you're going to be raising the profile of the road as well, quite a ways back to tie that in, and then you're going to be tying into driveways and properties, and I just know that's not going to be an easy or quick or cheap.
To go up, you have to still.
To go up, you got to go back.
Okay. So I didn't know the condition of that bridge, but.
Yeah, we can report back on that, and we can just take a quick look at that. But yeah, I can tell you, just based on grades, you're going to have to go back quite a ways to tie that back in because of the speed on US 19.
And what is the pedestrian access going over that bridge on 19?
I'm not sure.
I'm not familiar.
It's a sidewalk.
There is a sidewalk?
On both
Yeah,
sides,
both sides.
actually. I don't know how wide it is, you know.
Probably 6 foot, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, so along the same lines, obviously, there's golf cart crossing is needed across that bridge, and I know that they use it there, and probably shouldn't technically, but people do it, obviously. So I think if we do something with the bridge, we would need to accommodate.
That would be the time to address it if we reconstructed the bridge, because to add it in would, you might as well just replace it.
Right.
Or maybe there's a new, just pedestrian way to get across. Just a thought, or a pedestrian golf cart way to get across.
But I will, with next meeting, we'll come back and just, in this portion, kind of the informal end of the meeting, we can give you kind of the year, the age of the bridge, condition, et cetera, things like that. Just so you know maybe what a timeline would be for replacement based on just maintenance level.
It was just, dreamy.
No, it'd be great to.
And follow on with additional information, you may be aware of whatever, obviously, Super Board has been petitioned by developers to develop that area, and we're working through our zoning and stuff that we have going on. Obviously, the one across the bridge we talked about, what's going on potentially on the other side of the bridge, could be significant growth in that area, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I apologize I didn't get back to you. I just got that information, so, but anyway.
No problem.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner?
So I think we had plans initially drafted out, and I don't know if the mayor had seen those, I'm sure you have, from the first, how they're going to lay out the bridge, the path, et cetera, the overlays?
Been a while, I think.
Okay,
I think
so that may help, but I'll say this, whether golf carts are allowed in the conversation or not, we want to build that thing as wide as we can going, especially under that bridge for the corners that are there anyway. Because if it's, whether it be bikes, golf carts, it may traverse, let's be realistic. It may not be permitted for it, but it's going to happen.
Right.
But you want to make it as wide as you can, safe as you can going around there.
Yeah, and I think the issue was when we started to get into golf cart criteria, putting curbs and things of that nature, that was where we started to get too wide. But I mean, I would agree with you. I mean, I think as long as you can widen as much as you want without getting into that Coast Guard.
Without getting in that world.
Yeah, we would be agnostic to that. As long as we don't get into the Coast Guard issues, we wouldn't care.
Is a height an issue there? Because
you won't have a vertical issue. It's the width. You won't have an issue with vertical clearance.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Mrs. Starkey?
You might as well stay up there.
No, she's not done.
Mr. Chair, I just need to, point of privilege, I have an 11:30 meeting at City Hall. We're having another emergency city commission meeting, taking care of some issues from the recent storm. So I'll need to leave here in just the next few minutes. So that will be the reason for my departure if the meeting's still going.
Lucky you're local, huh?
That's right, I'll just walk a couple blocks.
We'll allow it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try and rock and roll here. First question, and I know this is, and Tina, maybe you need to come up too, but, so we've had the money for the overpass at 54 and Suncoast, the bike pedestrian, for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And every year it goes by, it gets more and more expensive. We learned recently, we thought we had to wait, and it would be part of the widening and whatever project Suncoast is doing there. But when Tania and I met with them, they said, no, we're not dependent on them. We can blow and go. Now, do we have to wait till do you know if they decide if it's going to be a divergent diamond or a cloverleaf?
Yeah, so at this point, we're moving forward with design. We're not waiting on anybody for anything. I think the challenges on those projects, and I get 54 and 52 overpasses confused. One of them, we have an issue with the overhead electric, just their timeline to relocate their utility, which we're pushing that envelope.
You're talking about Duke?
Duke, yeah. So we're pushing that envelope, getting them to move. We got plans over to them so they could review and see where they needed to move. And I think that one's 54. And then, but yeah, as far as waiting on Turnpike or waiting on internally, no, we're not waiting on anybody. We're in design.
Okay, we've been in design a long time.
Correct. Yeah. So there was a period of time where we were working out logistics, but I'm saying at this point, right now we're not waiting on anyone. We're finalizing the design, and I just don't know the letting dates off the top of my head. I don't know if anyone does, but
Yeah, I can't hear.
yeah, May and December is what you're saying. And I'll come back. I can give you the exact dates because I've been pushing our team to advance that schedule.
Okay, will that include a revamped trailhead and restrooms there? And are we coordinating with you? The developer of that property is getting ready to come in?
The only thing I'm aware of in the design is the actual bridge itself tying back in and connecting the trail through. I'm not aware associated with that project, like the actual DOT project, that we're building restrooms or anything like that.
Okay, we need to have conversations then, because right now we just have those 2 porta potties.
Yeah.
And they're nasty. And, okay, so that was one question. And I do want us to work with the developer that's coming in on Sadly with a big box on that corner. We tried to avoid that because that's not the highest and best use, but we can't. They got what they need, I guess. Okay, so question on that.
Just so you know too, I will say I'm appreciative, a lot of people don't understand the relationship between us and Turnpike, but we are all, one FDOT. And so they've been working with us too on how to bypass the trail during construction to keep it open, even when we're building the bridge. So they've been working with us on how we can utilize some of the shoulder and the ramp to keep it open. So we're appreciative of that.
All right. What is the timeline, since I think we have the money to go on 52 as well, so are we already in design on that one?
Correct, yeah, I think they're about 5 or 6 months apart, and it's just going through utility conflicts and everything, but yeah, no, we're under design on that, and same designer, same PM, they're working on both of them.
Okay, so we very happy that we got agreement that we would put an pedestrian underpass on State Road 52. Mm-hmm. And is it possible we can show everyone where that's going to be? If they can pull up Google Earth or whatever. But what's real important with that investment is that there's a sidewalk on the. I know the multi-use path on State Road 52 is on the north side, mm-hmm. And as you know, we didn't program in that sidewalk on the south side. So I did. The county administrator and I did have a meeting with Brian Singletary from Swiftmud. That's the right name, right?
Yeah, Swiftmud.
Yeah. Because I think that's kind of near
Brian Armstrong from Swiftmud.
What?
Brian Armstrong, Swiftmud.
Yeah, because my neighbor is Brian Singletary. Yeah, that's why I get them mixed up with Mr. Armstrong. I don't know who's in charge of this. Who is talking to Swiftmud about maybe putting the sidewalk on their property? Is that us? Is that you?
That would be the county. So
that'd be the county.
Correct. Yeah, where we're at is we're building the trail on the north side. We're doing the road work. We're going to facilitate the pedestrian underpass, but building a supporting facility to the south and the connection to the underpass, that would be on the county.
Okay, and Nick is here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's here. Nick's here.
Okay, I'll ask him to come up next. All right, so the multi-use trail that got stopped on Clinton Avenue. I met with you and Secretary Gwynn at the ribbon cutting and other times, and we discussed that there is the right-of-way availability on the north side of the road between Clinton and Prospect.
Yeah, there is intermittent right-of-way available, yes. Yeah.
So what is the plan and who's working on it?
That would be, you guys would have to prioritize the trail and then we put it in. There's not a plan right now to build that trail for that short section.
Okay, so that's something that our county engineer has to plug in?
Well, I mean, that or a conversation just here about prioritizing that through the MPO. I mean, there's multiple routes you could go, whichever route you'd want to go.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we have these discussions.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I think first step would be just to do a quick trail feasibility, which, I mean, we could do that, the county could do that, just to kind of identify where the pinch points will be.
I think we should do that. I'm so sorry that we didn't connect to
Where-
301 trail. I just,
Can we look at it going to 301 Trail when we
yeah,
look
it's
at the
supposed to go to
feasibility?
301,
Yeah.
exactly, so.
From Prospect to 301?
And, you know, I think, who knows after you get past Prospect what the best route is, and someone needs to look at that.
How about this? We will take on the trail feasibility, and then we will report back to this board, and we'll go from there.
The goal is,
Commissioner-
is connected to their trip that goes north-south.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think when this road was first talked about, the trail was supposed to be there.
Yes.
And our previous engineer or someone else pulled it from that. So that feasibility should have been part of the initial design.
Yeah, the problem though is when it was removed, obviously the design was changed based on the fact that you're not having to facilitate a trail.
Isn't that the craziest thing ever?
Yes, I mean, you know, because that, when you're designing, I mean, everything, all the elements are located based on what you're designing. So whenever that element was removed, then you design for a sidewalk, you place your utilities where they need to be based on where the sidewalk is, you place your drainage based on the relation to the sidewalk. So I mean, it is unfortunate that that element was removed.
I would in the future, you know, when some of our staff makes those kind of decisions, and we have a policy up here, we need to know about it, because we had no clue they took it out. None.
I mean, I will say that the collaboration, communication between us and your current county engineers is good.
But that is
I think we're all in the same boat. I think we're all doing the same thing here. So, anyway.
Okay, the mid-block crossings on State Road 54.
Okay.
Where are we with that? For the coast-to-coast trail.
Yeah, which locations?
Tina? Would be the crossing in Trinity, and then I think we have a crossing over by Community Drive or somewhere.
She'll have to help me on that one, because I'm not.
Tina Russo, staff to MPO. The two crossings that you're probably talking about, one is, are you talking about the Starkey Boulevard?
Yes.
Mid-block that was supposed to happen with the resurfacing that was supposed to be east
Yes.
of Starkey Boulevard. That's a separate. The other one is part of the Orange Belt study,
Right.
which would be at Community Drive or to the east of there. That was part of the Orange Belt study alignment.
Okay.
One's part of resurfacing, where we move it to the east to avoid that intersection at Starkey Boulevard. That was part of the resurfacing. And then the other one is part of Orange.
So what's the start date on that?
So
The resurfacing, I believe, is either underway or soon to be underway.
That's
So,
why I'm asking,
yeah.
what's the start date
I'll
on
get
the
the
mid-block
exact
crossing?
date. I'm not sure of the exact date, but that crossing is part of that resurfacing project.
Okay.
And just so you know, generally they would complete it at the very end of the resurfacing, so they put in the cuts and everything, but when they do their final pavement, they do their final striping for the crossing.
Okay, so just want to make sure that there is coordination going on with my engineering staff and you on how we're putting that sidewalk on State Road 52 from the Sun Coast east.
Yeah, and just so you know, I mean, and this is information we'll be able to share with the county. I do have our engineer, because this is something we had committed to in the past, determining what would need to be done to put the sidewalk on the south, what the impacts would be and everything. So we are doing that. Our engineer is actively, you know, laying out the design of what the impacts would be to like our ponds, drainage, et cetera. So, I mean, we will be able to share that with the county.
And I'm hoping, making sure that our staff is making sure that every developer that's coming in on the south side is putting theirs in, because Angelina has not put theirs in yet.
Yeah, that's the key in these corridors, when we're seeing that if you can have the developer do it, that's the best case scenario. And obviously they're already working on their infrastructure, so them putting the sidewalk in, you know, it's easier for them than for us.
I don't even know if they did it in front of Marada? Did they put a sidewalk in front of their project?
I have to go back and look. You're
Or
talking about
multi-use?
on the new
I don't know.
52 alignment on Murata? Because the new 52 alignment on Murata, we have a sidewalk and they tied into
I
our
mean, the
sidewalk.
old 52. I don't know. So it's, you know, someone's dropping the ball. Okay, so if you could look at the underpass, the location, guys, it's to the, is that 75?
No, that's Suncoast.
Oh, Suncoast. It is to the east of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a meeting with a project
Keep going,
along
keep
there, and
going
the
east.
planners had no clue that we had
Keep going
approved this. So I just need to get this to our staff.
Yeah, Nick and I just talked about that. So we're in the engineering phase, so we would share that, just like we normally do through our ERC process with the county.
Do you remember where it is?
It's at the one preserve, Connor Preserve.
Connor
You just
Preserve?
passed 41.
So I think it's right, yeah, it's on the other side of 41, right?
Yeah, Connor
No,
Preserve, yeah,
you-
keep
you
going,
went-
keep going east.
Keep going east, please. I think I saw where it is. I think you have a,
It's in a bend in the road, keep going.
yeah, keep going.
Keep going. It's right in,
Is it right there?
actually zoomed in,
Right.
uh,
No,
there's Secretariat, yeah, it's a little,
Pasco Trails.
there's Secretariat.
yeah, it's a little bit further east, I mean, it's right in here.
Maybe where it has that 52?
Yeah, there's Connor Preserve, right there where it says 52.
Yeah.
Because there's the wildlife crossing and the pedestrian crossing is immediately parallel to the wildlife
Yeah.
crossing.
So just for everyone's edification, we do have a pedestrian underpass coming right there. Woo! So, as of right now, though, we have no sidewalk on the other side, so you have to hike to it. But the plan is for a trail to go on up and connect to the crossbar and Albar wilderness areas. So, and also, people on the south side here can choose to cross there and get on the State Road 52 multi-use path to go east, as well as that's not the Orange Belt. The Orange Belt is coming through Cypress Creek and then up and then across. So, but we're very grateful that we were able to work this out. So, I just think you guys should plug that in every road you build. Is how are other users going to get across? It's cheaper to do this than all those overpasses.
Yeah, the problem here, I mean, we were fortunate here by elevation that we could do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't have that capability. You know, a lot of times for us to do that, the crossing would be underwater. So this is just a rare situation where we just had to adjust the road profile slightly to make it work. But in a lot of areas, the dollar amount you would take to reconstruct the road to go under, it is cheaper to go over. So, I mean, that's kind of I'd say it's a misnomer of the pedestrian underpass. It's cheaper if you have the vertical clearance to make it happen.
Yeah, in some places.
Yeah,
right?
but if you don't have the vertical clearance, then the going over is the cheaper option. So it just depends. But yeah, this is one where it is cheaper to go under.
Mayor Hoover?
Yeah, while we got this visual stuff, and I apologize to the minute taker, I'm going to jump back to the Catches property discussion. Could we pull Catches up on the map? You mentioned there's 12 parking spaces that would be needed for this area. Just in case I have this conversation this afternoon, I want to.
And they'd be willing to get.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I understand which ones you're talking about. I don't know, do you guys have some kind of map drawn what you would need, or?
I mean, I can get you an exhibit for what we need. I mean, I can get that emailed over to you.
Yes, I need that.
Okay.
And I assume it's the parking spaces closest to the water?
It is. It's the parking spaces closest to the approach to the bridge.
Right.
So if you run parallel to US 19, it's those spots that are parallel to US 19.
Next to 19.
Oh, maybe you better pull the map up then. I want to make sure it's clear. I was thinking it was just,
And the Lowe's on that land?
yes.
Lowe's on it?
Well, the part of it, the DOT easements, the rest of it. Yeah, so if you zoom in. So obviously when I was talking about the amount of green space along through there, you see there's quite a bit. And you know, as I walk it, as you get down closer to where you would go under the bridge, kind of where you see that little jettison of 4 or 5 cars there, 4 cars, I guess, where it opens up a little bit. That's the narrowest spot, but even that, it's for sidewalk to go right along that parking, I thought would be good. You say you can't do that.
Yeah, no, because part of it is it's the width, right? So we're trying to get as wide of a facility as we can through there.
Right.
And it's not that you're widening and taking the whole parking space, but what happens is if I take 3 feet of the parking space, then the parking space no longer is viable.
Right.
It could be for golf carts.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing.
It could become bicycle or golf cart.
Yeah, and I think
parking.
that'd be,
Yeah, so you can repurpose the space. You can even go to like a different type of parking. You go to
Yeah, parallel.
a parallel parking. You could go, but as far as the way the parking space is currently configured, there's 12 spaces I would impact.
so are you talking about the 12
Yeah.
space starting with the ones closest to Rum River there?
Yeah, so what you would do is
Cap-
probably not the first 2, but you kind of see there, I've got like an arrowhead there where the parking lot's kind of coming to a point. That's what you're impacting on your way out. And there's a utility that I'm working around.
Okay, so basically 12 from that sign
Yeah, so if you come on just this side of the sign, that's the sign, right?
Yeah, that's the catch of the sign.
Okay, yeah, so if you go 2 spots this side of the sign and then go 10 on the other side of the sign.
North or south of the sign?
What's that? I'm sorry.
2 spaces north?
2 spaces,
South.
would that be south, closer to the river?
10 north.
Close,
And
okay.
then 10 going.
So basically, the first 2 on the south side of the sign, and then 10 going back, you're basically cutting them in
Yeah, and
half.
I can get you
Yeah,
a
give me a
graphic.
drawing.
Yeah.
How
And
soon
so
can you
they
get-
can see how much of the pavement we're taking, because it's not, like I said, we're not taking the whole parking spot.
Yeah, how soon can you get that to me? Okay.
Give us a week.
Yeah,
But at least you know
As soon as
that
possible.
for your next meeting.
yeah. I really want to get Jack off my tail.
I was going to slide a little bit there, but.
Yeah, if you give us a week, we can give you a shape of the area that will
And
be.
maybe even add the parallel parking, whatever you think to give them.
Well, that'd be Catches doing that.
Yeah, they would have to tell us, they'd have to redesign that space how
Yeah.
they want it, because they may not want a parallel spot, they may want golf cart parking, they may.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't want to dictate to them what they do with their space.
Yeah, if they can know exactly what is needed, what they'd have left, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But you certainly can horse trade vacating that road with getting the sidewalk in.
Anything possible.
I didn't say that in public.
Do we have?
I have one more thing. if you don't
Commissioner,
mind.
go ahead.
And it was just, I was checking my phone as I was getting ready to go, but I had an email from someone who had a conversation with some people over in Wesley Chapel. Many months ago, when we made the announcement, we're going to look from, taking from overpass to 301 to extend that connection, which is kind of where Ridge Road could eventually go to the overpass interchange. And I pushed that we go take a look at it. In that time, I've taken drives out there myself. Recently, just had a cell tower that was in that same area as well. With the intricate part of that neighborhood, with the wetlands that are out and around there, as a county or MPO, I don't think would do it, but I'll just say publicly, I am not looking to make that connection anymore from Ridge Road at 41 to 75. I think it's just too hard to go through, you destroy the neighborhood. So I'm going to say that publicly, and I don't know if, Nick, you're spending any more time or looking at it, but your help was showing me how it would have to go. I just think it would be too detrimental, so I'm going to say I don't think it'd be any directed, I was still spending energy on it, but I'm not looking for it. If anyone else
do
wants to
what,
comment that. To take the Ridge Road extension from 41, I said think we should take a look at 75, making that connection. But you'd go through that neighborhood, it's just too tough. The Swift Mud property's in there as well, so.
Yeah.
I don't want him to spend any more time or energy on it, if no one has any objection to it.
Well, I would object to that. Not that
Okay.
it matters, but, I mean, it's, obviously, that is would be a huge plus for that area to have a way to get over 75, because it's a pain in the neck. I mean, when we got that Ridge Road extension, just to get to the 589 was like heaven. To be able to get to 75 would be great, especially being evacuation and stuff like that. But I know it's a tough path through there. If there's any kind of alternate way to get there,
Again, I've looked at it extensively, looking past through the neighborhood, going through Swift Mud property with what's out there. Too difficult, be too disruptive, so much as I was looking for it, because I took a big step from the get-go, I'm saying I want to abandon it, so I'm not pushing it, so.
I just wrote, I have a couple more things.
Yes, Commissioner.
Sorry, we still have 20 minutes. Can you put that map back up? I did want to show you guys something, and Jack, I started to show this to you yesterday, then we got distracted. If you could pull up Cruz Lake, and I don't know, Tina, if you've ever seen this, but I had an interesting meeting yesterday with Nectarios, Pitos, and another planner. While I'm doing a presentation at the ULI breakfast thing next week, I think. And so in preparation for this, we're putting together a map that the county doesn't have right now, actually. And it's a map of the trail system and the map of the, say, multi-use, I can't remember what, Terry's not here, a multi-use commuter system, like alternative use. So, you know, some trails are recreational, and there's a lot of multi-use paths that people use to get to work. As a matter of fact, when I left our board meeting the other day, I watched a kid come out of the Burger King at Suncoast and 52 and get on an electric bike and go down the sidewalk on 52 to go home. I was going to look at the Orange Belt Trail behind the Target, and that day I'd seen 3 people using a multi-use path to get to work on electric bikes. So I think that whole segment of society is growing, and we need to be ready for it. So if you could zoom out on this Cruise Lake in this area, there is this canal. I remember working with Swiftmud on this when I think I was on the Swiftmud board then, for the horseback riders that have been using this. Zoom out a little more, and somehow it got closed to them, and I was able to open it back up. But I don't even know what this is. Now, can you move that to the left, to the west? Nope, the other way. Sorry, that way, and go north. Okay, see where it says Trojan Town and Student Acres? Can you zoom in on that? Okay, do you see this canal, this channel? It's owned by Swiftmud. Here comes Brad. No? Okay. It's owned by Swiftmud. Can you follow this? It ends in Cruise Lake, but could you follow this north? It goes on up into Hernando County there in Ayers. Okay, stop. It stops there at Ayers. Now, if you could go back down, and I want you to drop the little man on the bridge. You have to go down further. The bridge that goes over it, right? Keep on, no, well, that one would work. You can drop it right there by Massac Town on the road. Right, no. Go over you're not on the property. Keep going to the east. Please drop the man over the little path, the green pathway.
You don't want to go there. It'll be on the road.
He's afraid to get run over.
There, it goes right over this.
Snakes and stuff there, right?
Can you drop a pin? Just click on it. You know what I'm trying to do? Maybe zoom in. Would it be easier? I want you to see what it looks like. So right there on Wilson Boulevard, please drop it where it says Wilson. No. Oh my goodness. I must be doing it. There we go. Okay.
Hey.
Well, you're too far. You're not on it. You need to move a little. No. Here. I'm sorry. You got to go north and east.
You go do it.
That's what I was thinking.
You can do it right there. See where it says go back down. See where it says Sunny Acres? See where the road crosses it right there? No. Is that what's going on? Why can't she not put it over the ditch? No. Go. And go east. Go east. There's the ditch, a canal, channel, whatever it is. And put it right there on Bowman, right on the bridge there. Okay, that's what it looks like. Perfect, kind of. So I don't see why we can't have a multi-use path coming down the shoulder on one of those sites. And that's something I'd like to pursue with Swiftmud. Jack, is this your territory?
I'm on the other side of 41.
That could be a beautiful way for people to be able to do recreation through with very,
You know what, and I saw your pictures from Europe, right?
The what?
The pictures from Europe along the aqueduct.
Yes,
That was
yeah.
kind of neat, so I'm sure the concept's very similar.
Yeah.
But I got to say, in time, I'm okay to do that. But I will tell you, I've just got the 5A road trail done. That goes out to 19 now in front of the hospital up above. I'd love to see the connection going across to go down Old Dixie Highway. We've got a section of road where they're going, we have a golf cart paths going in there. As a matter of fact, spent 2.5 hours with the people at Sea Ranch last night talking about different issues. That was one of them, where they want to be able to use the golf carts there, but they want to be able to, let's say, go up to SunWest on a trail. When you go up Old Dixie right now, once you're past New York Avenue, you've got a narrow 2-lane road with canals on both sides. Swiftmud's got the property on the side. I want to see that get done. My next property, if I could do what north-south one, would be Shady Hills Road. That's getting a lot of extra traffic, a lot of industrial land, Gary's Plastics coming in there.
Don't discount this. I mean,
Oh, no,
this
no,
could
I'm
be
not.
even
No,
a
I'm
gravel
not.
trail.
No, no,
right,
I
Tina?
think
Where's-
it'd be phenomenal. I'm just saying, if we gotta put an order of things to do, that's probably third on my list.
Well, I mean, I could ride my bike on that now if we were allowed to, without them doing anything. So I just think we should have a conversation with Swiftmud to open this up for recreation.
I'm okay with discussion.
I don't even know the purpose. Does anyone know the purpose of this thing? At one time, maybe it was taking water down to Cruz Lake, but it's
The Mess, is it the Messick, I don't know how to say it.
Messeric
Canal,
Messeric
Canal?
Town.
Is that what that is? I think that's what it is.
a what?
It takes water from, all the way from Manhattan all the way down.
Yeah, I
Goes all the way
wonder,
down to Bear Creek.
I wonder if it ever gets water in, because there's no water in
Good.
Cruz Lake, so.
Good, look at it
But
now.
so that's one thing I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to show you, if you go to the Orange Belt Trail, go to the Target, and the Orange Belt alignment got pulled from the agenda on Tuesday. But I was looking at this, and, oh, actually I took a photo of this. I'm gonna, Tania, how do I send you a photo I want you to put up?
Just email it to me.
Okay, so staff is working on this map, as I said, that puts together the current trail system and the multimodal system in the county. And so we were looking at the Vision Road networks, and I looked at the Vision Road plan for the area around the Target. And that's what I want you to put up there. Because I think this is the controversial area of the Orange Belt Trail, not 100% sure. But, do you have it? It's just Pasco Mapper with the Vision Road overlay on it, if you want to do it that way. Did something happen? It's just a photo. It's a photo of Pasco Mapper with the Vision Road on it. Sorry, didn't know it'd take. Do you want to just pull up Pasco Mapper?
You want to schedule this for an agenda item?
I don't know, it's taking so long. Is it not work? Just pull up Pasco Mapper and put the Vision Road over it. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Tonight, to me.
Oh, there we go. Got something.
No, that's not it. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the canal.
That's your new trail.
Yeah.
I'm switching computers to get it up.
That's interesting. That's the Google car shadow.
Uh-huh.
Seriously, just pull up Pasco Metro. And go to the target at 72, 75, and 52, please.
It was one of the routes.
Well, I don't think you're going to get it like that. The intersection of 75 and 52.
52 or 54? 52 or 54?
It's 52 and 75. Someone help. Yes. That's why, just pull up the intersection of 75 and 52. Okay, maybe I should have said the Flying J. Oh my God.
So what I did in Port Richey for this scenario is I have a full-fledged, I drive, and so I can actually join the Zoom and I'll share via Zoom and they can pop it up on there. It's real easy.
Yeah, well, I should
These are-
have sent this over earlier. My bad. Where are we? What state is that? Okay.
Commissioner, if you want to just tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, so-
I have the map in my head. Yeah, there you go.
And I have it in my phone. I can share with you, Nick. So I went out and I had taken a picture of where the Orange Belt Trail stops now, which is Pasco Road. And Target has built, the Target Distribution Center has built their section of it. And Clark Hobby's group, Heinz, is getting ready to build their section on the other side. And I heard, I was told yesterday they're going to build the park coming under the overpass and connect with the Target portion, but I would like confirmation on that because the Target part doesn't go to the highway, it stops. So who's building that link? But I know when we looked at the vision map, there is a vision road that continues on Pasco Road, where Pasco Road turns to the north, and it comes down and connects to Hartman. I think it's Hartman.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be the alignment for the Orange Belt to come? Is that the proposed alignment?
So this would be helpful to have
Yeah,
on the screen.
yeah. I am shocked at what's going on.
Sure.
I have my
The
iPad.
short story is we need to ensure that the Vision Road network, the lines on our GIS layer are consistent with the development approvals that have been granted by the county commission.
Yeah, so that property has not come in for development?
Well, but the Target Distribution Center, the lines don't reflect what has actually been approved and now
Yeah.
constructed. And so we've got to get that part right first so that we can see how the connections will be made on the east side of that park.
And that's what I wanted to show
Sure.
there it is. Okay. All right, so there is the Vision Road going through the Target Distribution Center.
And that's what I was mentioning. Obviously, the Vision Road will not follow the dashed line on that graphic because that is now a building.
So since the road is coming up on the north side, is coming over, then then we'll be coming down through these two parcels to get back to Hartman. Correct?
That is an alternative that we are evaluating for the Orange Belt Trail, yes.
So it needs to get from the north side of Target to Commercial Drive Extension.
That's correct.
Okay, and then down to Hartman, which is that east-west road that's at an angle. That is a public road, right? Hartman?
Thought that might work, no?
Yeah, that just makes it dark. I don't know the.
Yeah, all right. So you're talking about how do we get from here?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Vision
down
Road
to
that gets
here?
to Hartman, right?
This area right in here.
That you see where the black dotted line touches Hartman? Right there. Nope,
Yes.
right there. That's just,
Yes, we are evaluating that as one of the options for the Orange Belt Trail.
so when and if those two parcels come in for development, they have to accommodate the Vision Road.
In some form or fashion, yes. But what I mentioned is development approval has already been granted to this area, which realigns this road to the east side and allows this Vision Road to come up on the north side of the Target Distribution Center.
And
So
how is it connecting with the Commercial Drive Extension?
Exactly. I'm researching that right now with our alignment team to ensure that what we have already granted approval for and what we are now assuming can be true in the future are harmonious.
Okay, and the reason I bring these things up, and especially the point, like Jack, what you're just saying of Ridge Road Extension not continuing on, we're going to be a county of 1 million people before we know it. We cannot only have two east-west roads. We have to have all these other roads connecting to other roads. Otherwise, all the traffic's going to be on 52, and all the traffic's going to be on 54, and no one's going to be able to move. So these interconnections are super important to our road grid and our Vision Road network. We really should be evaluating that all the time to make sure we have a gridded community. Otherwise, we're going to have a double-decker 52 and a double-decker 54 in 100 years from now. And who wants that? So that's just a really important connection.
Understood.
Okay, that was it.
That all?
Sorry for the pain.
All right. Anybody have any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Next meeting, October 10th. NPR.
And wildlife